Here's direct testimony on the difference between snitching and ratting. A snitch will tell something where he looking out the window and he'll see a motherfucker, Gladys Travis ass, looking out the window and he see somebody breaking into a car. And then he called the police. That's telling as a witness. But when you testify in court and get on the stands after committing a crime that you knew fully you could be capable of what could happen, then you get caught and you tell on everybody else. So let's look at what it takes to be a rat. There go Charleston White. Examination. Since y'all believe he killed a white man, he didn't kill no white man, as you'll see in his testimony. He told Antoine Dolittle and the courts that Antoine Dolittle killed him. He didn't say nothing about he did it. He went to shaking like Don Knotts. Look at there it is. Since we're talking about paperwork, so what happens when you do get a snitch? You still listen and think this nigga's cool? 3 black men are in jail behind this nigga. See that? So he lied. Remember the 20,000? Nobody can prove I snitched. That's a lie, and he still ain't paid. And I don't want the money. I want to free this young man this nigga told on. And y'all should too. You should boycott this rat. Anybody that called him liable to be up under the police scope where your phone tap, niggas. Dumb motherfuckers. So let's look. There go. And here he is again. Just in case you don't think he told. There go White. Same shit. Different paper. Look at the numbers. 3. That's 5. And here go the first thing. Charleston White. It's a witness called on behalf of the state having been duly sworn to testify as follows. If you would state your name again for the record, now that we are on record. Charleston White. Charleston, how old are you? 16. This is 2 years after he got caught when he bragged about at 14 he killed a white man. No, he didn't. He told who killed a white man to get out of jail after committing a crime. He's in getting stay cool. Is that part of the Texas youth? Yes, ma'am. Why are you at the Texas for murder accessory? See, they made a deal where he would only get accessory, but only after he testified. See where it said he had to change it? For murder. Yes, ma'am. He already knew he slipped. They already made a deal. He's going to be accessory to murder, not convicted of murder. See that? How long have you been there? 19 months. He had made a deal, as you will see, the 2nd month after he was busted. In fact, 1 month. Yes, ma'am. And at this time, did you admit your involvement in the offense for which we are on trial today? Yes, ma'am. Mr. Jones, Your Honor, may I approach the witness? The court. I want to show you marked as States Exhibit 39. Do you recognize that? This is a plea agreement. This is what you do when you get ready to get on the stand. You have to sign shit. A plea agreement. Is that the agreement you entered into at the time you entered your plea or your case was taken care of? Yes, ma'am. See, his case had been over with since the day he started telling. So he lying to y'all about, oh, I was going to prison, nigga. You had told where you wasn't going to nowhere but where you went, to juvenile hall. But we got 3 young men. 1 got killed while out on bail, and the other 2 are still in jail 31 years later. I would be thinking about getting these young men out behind a rat. But y'all want to glorify a rat? Oh, you out your rabbit ass mind. Does your signature appear on this agreement? Yes, ma'am. He showed yes, ma'am, and them white folks. But he'll brag about killing a white, but he didn't. He said Antoine Dolittle. Who else signatures on there? My mom and my lawyer and your lawyer. Yes. What does it say? Your Honor, we offer the state an exhibit I am tendering to defense. May I take the witness briefly on voir dire? Voir dire. Mr. White, looking at the statement and agreement you made, this is when he signs the papers to make the agreement. In exchange for your testimony, let's go to the next page. Number 12, 13. Okay. It says, this is how you file and turn into a snitch and an informant. Yolanda White, that's his mother, she signed it, and his attorney, a record, Carl Mallory, in the state of Texas, acting through the district attorney office of Tarrant County, Texas, whereas there's currently a pending before the 323rd Judicial Court of Tarrant County, Texas, under the call. See, there go the case number. You can look it up yourself. Just call Tarrant County, alleging that White has engaged in illegal conduct. And whereas White is presently 14, see, this is when he's only 14 years old, and thus subject to jurisdiction of the juvenile court. And whereas White, after having full and free opportunity to consult with his attorney of record and with his parents, desires to enter into the following agreement to dispose of all pending criminal and juvenile allegations against him. So he's testifying and signing right now the agreement to testify 2 years later, which started that month after he got Yolanda White, his mother, and Carl Mallory, White's attorney of record, have reviewed the following agreement and believe it is in the best interest of White that this agreement be entered into. And whereas on or about the 18th day of September, look at the date, 18th September 1999, Michael Levy was shot and killed in Arlington County. That's who he's claimed he killed on TV. But right here, 1 month after being arrested, this nigga signing an agreement to say that Antwanae Dolittle did it. Antwanae Dolittle, and this is what he said. And whereas White, along with 3 other juveniles, Antwanae Dolittle, he's still in jail. Why he not out? Called Dolittle, Antoine Jackson, and Dwayne Jackson. Those are the 2 brothers. One got killed in a car chase out on bail in Oklahoma, and the other one is still in prison. That's a damn shame. So, Charleston White does all that. So these are the 7 agreements that he had to agree to. Number 1, White will appear before the 223rd Judicial District Court of Tarrant County, Texas, and will stipulate to the truth of the allegations contained in the paragraph 2 and 3 of such petition, and will make a judicial admission of his delinquent conduct as alleged in the paragraph 2 and 3 of the petition. 2, this is the second agreement. The parties heretofore will jointly request the, let's flip it. Oh, we don't have to. We go to the next. The court to make the findings required by section such and such. White is committed to the Texas youth. See, they committed him to where they knew once he testified, he never was going to prison. They would keep him in jail till he's 21 and he would be released. So did nobody change their mind and say, oh, you can change your life? No, the nigga snitched on everybody to get 12 years where you do 7. Here goes the third stipulation. Specifically acknowledge their understanding of the fact that such a sentencing recommendations is not binding on the court, and the court be free to impose any sentence it deemed properly. In other words, they're telling Charleston White and his lawyers, if you don't tell the truth, this contract is binding. It's not binding, and your ass going to prison, which he didn't want to do. He did the crime, but he couldn't do the time. But he never killed nobody, as you will see. Number 4, White agrees that he will fully truthfully testify as to all of the facts and circumstances surrounding the death of Michael Levy whenever called upon to do so by the state. They saying this because it's only the first month of the case, and Antwanae and them don't go to court till 93. Charleston White stayed around them gathering evidence for 2 years where nobody knew he had signed the agreement. That's how low he is. Number 5, White agrees and understands that in addition to testifying in court when requested, he is obligated under the terms of this agreement to meet with the attorneys or investigators for the state. This nigga testifying for the state, the prosecution, to get 3 young black men locked up. That's what he should be talking about, and y'all should be talking about. Freeing these young men that were only 15 years old behind this rat. Number 6, the state of Texas shall be free to prosecute White at any time subsequent to the signing of this agreement if they believe him to be guilty of the offense of perjury or aggravated perjury. That means lying, then really lying. Just like he lying to y'all on TV talking about he never snitched because he didn't want this to come out. Let's go to page 17. There go number 7. This writing constitutes the entire agreement between the parties, the state, and there's no separate or agreements between the parties which have not been included in this agreement. Signed the 22nd day of October. He got arrested September. He's signing shit to snitch in 91, a month later. His mama signed it. His lawyer signed it. And that's the prosecutor that signed it. Now, Charleston White. Now you understand. Charleston, when you entered into this agreement, what was your understanding about what was expected? As for me to tell the truth when it's time for me to come to court. Why he not going to court with everybody else? Because they in county jail now. Charleston coming from juvenile hall. That's because they separated them and tried them as adults. But because Charleston White testified, he stayed in juvenile hall. If he don't tell, none of them get all this time because they didn't know who the shooter was until Charleston White told them. In fact, we came to get in schools to talk to you, right? Yes, ma'am. Charleston, I want to direct your attention to September 18th. Tell the jury, see, in front of the jury now, where opinions don't count, like y'all do on these internet for sound bites and likes, where you can get away with it. Here go real paperwork. Since y'all talk about what happens to snitches when you got paperwork, let's see if you enforce it, niggas, so shut the fuck up. I would stand with Dwayne. Okay, but who were you actually living with? But let's go further to when he told about Dolittle. Here you go. See all this. About 253. So here we go. Let's just start right here. Did Mr. Levy say anything? That's who got killed. No, ma'am, not at all. Okay, what is the next thing that happened? He reached off in the window and turned the car off and took the keys out the ignition. These niggas let him take the keys. Before he reached in the car, did you all do anything? He threw the jacket out the back window thinking they would go. Then he tell on Big Twan had handed me the jacket and I threw it out the window. Okay, let's go and find out what he said. Oh, here you go. Now he finna tell on everybody. While he's talking about, oh, I killed a white man. That ain't what he said on this shit here. Where did, oh, here we go. Michael Levy. He said if he wanted the keys, we would have to wait for police. So Antoine got out the car. Little Twan got out the car and walked around and toward the back and told DJ to get the keys. Did DJ go get the keys? Yes, ma'am. What did DJ do once he got the keys? He got in the car. Where did Twan go after he went around and talked to DJ? He went like in front of the car. What happened? I was getting ready to, here you go where he point out, since he talk about he a killer. I was getting ready to get in the car, and I seen him point the gun at him. He's telling that Antoine pointed the gun. So where is that he killed anybody? And I heard a shot, and I looked up, and I seen, Michael Levy holding his chest, stumbling back. Let's stop there for a second. You said you saw him pointing the gun? Yes, ma'am. Who did you see pointing the gun? Little Twan. Where did the gun come from? I handed him the gun out the back seat of the car. Why did you do that? He was sitting on the windshield right before he took the keys. Mr. Levy was sitting on the windshield, and before he took the keys, you handed Antoine the gun. Yes, ma'am. Why did you hand him the gun? Because he asked for it. See, he singing like a canary. He telling them, I didn't know nothing about it. He asked for it. Where was the gun before you handed it to him? It was in the back seat between me and big Twan, covered up with my shirt. By the way, he took him to the gun that they told him to throw away, which you'll see later. And he took him to the gun after they got caught. Then he took them to where they stayed at, because a girl named Ursula identified Charleston out of a school book, yearbook. They only was 14. So I know plenty of people that have been arrested at 14 for murder starting in 1972 to this very day. But never have I seen somebody that do what he do get accepted back in the community. So, no man, did you notice him come after he moved away? Oh, let's look and see where he told about the car. Now let's see if we got that. So now they ask him, do you feel like you're going to get recommended something? You feel that, don't you? This is Antoine Dolittle and them trying to tell the courts the man is testifying in exchange and he have a reason to lie. Just like he lied to y'all about he didn't tell. But we see otherwise. Stay tuned for more of this, where you're going to hear how it is to become a snitch and what it takes. And the difference with Gunner, while he talking about Gunner and them took an Alfred plea. This nigga took a plea bargain, which is called no contest. In return for his testimony, he got 7 years. He never was going to prison, but them other men are still in jail 31 years later. That's foul. And you that support this nigga, y'all foul. And you think you gonna come to the streets and this gonna make a difference with a rat? You out your rabbit ass mind. Just hitting corners with Melvin Farmer. No snitching allowed, niggas.